Hello everybody, welcome back to MJ Hurley Sports. The video I have for you today is me talking about Major League Baseball and their marketing issue. Now, yes, I don't have glasses on. I have a very bad headache right now. It's been a very long day of meetings for school stuff, for my job over the summer, and me working on content. So with all of the lights in my face and stuff, my head hurts a little bit. I have an eye problem as well that goes into that. So if you're wondering why I don't have glasses on, that's why. Anyway, back into the content I have today. I want to talk about what I perceive as a marketing problem in Major League Baseball. And what I mean by that is Major League Baseball does not do a very good job of putting out content that is entertaining to everyone involved. Now, where I'm going with this is if you look at basketball and football in America, the NBA and the NFL, they do a very good job of marketing their product to the United States and even globally. In the case of the NBA, playing a lot of games in China, and then in the case of the NFL, playing games in Mexico and the United Kingdom. So with Major League Baseball, yeah, we have the World Baseball Classic, we have things like that where baseball is on an international stage. Now the KBO is becoming prevalent because we don't have Major League Baseball, but in terms of Major League Baseball marketing to the United States, their biggest market, they do an awful job. And I don't want to sit here bashing Major League Baseball the entire time, so what I want to do is kind of point out a couple things that I think Major League Baseball, if they implemented these ideas, it would be much better for the league as a whole, and it would be much better for the players. The reason I mention this is because players are not getting the recognition that, in my opinion, they deserve, and I think that's a problem. So, first of all, Mike Trout, who I think we can all agree is the best player in Major League Baseball, he could most likely walk up to at least half of America on the street, say hi, have a conversation, and they would have no clue who he is. I think we can all agree that if LeBron James or Tom Brady walked up to just an average people, that a very large majority of those people on the street just randomly would know who Tom Brady or LeBron James are, because they're the best players in their field and they're recognized as such. That's not the way it works in Major League Baseball. Mike Trout is simply not recognized the same way as the best player in Major League Baseball, and that's mostly because of the way people view baseball. All the time when I used to play baseball consistently, even in middle school and high school, when I told people I played baseball, their initial reaction was, "Oh, that's boring. Like, I don't want to watch baseball. It's boring. It's too long. The games are long. The games just the flow is awful. The pitching changes take too long. Stuff like that. People just don't have a initial positive reaction to baseball, and especially Major League Baseball. There's a reason attendance for Major League Baseball has been declining. Specifically, if you look at the market of Los Angeles, which is where Mike Trout plays, their attendance has declined about 10% in the last 10 years. That's very troubling, and the reason is people my age, not millennials, I mean millennials and whatever my generation is, Gen Z, Gen X, something like that. My generation and the millennials are not really going to live baseball games, and that's because there are other ways you can watch sporting events, but also baseball has just become boring. It is not something that is social media worthy, and one of the biggest reasons for that is Major League Baseball's lack of marketing. So the first way that Major League Baseball could really improve on what they are doing and improve on their ability to be marketable to the younger generation is allow video of Major League Baseball games to be used without being copyright struck. So where I'm going with this is if I were to use right now a clip of Major League Baseball, of any Major League game, whether it's spring training, regular season, postseason, if I use a clip that doesn't correctly credit Major League Baseball, bam, on YouTube I get copyright struck. That video most likely will be taken down. Major League Baseball literally has people working for them, and their sole job is to find this content and take it down and get those videos taken down. So people like me who if I wanted to sit down on my Twitch stream and watch a good old classic Major League Baseball game, I couldn't do it. My Twitch channel would get copyright struck most likely. So if what Major League Baseball wanted to do, which is a fantastic idea in theory, let me repeat that, in theory, it's a fantastic idea, but what they wanted to do was centralize their content. So if you wanted to find Major League Baseball content, there's one place you go, and everybody knows where to go to get baseball content, except they made you pay for it. And when you have a game that people already think is boring, they're not going to pay to go find that content. If it's the NBA or if it's the NFL, they're going to pay for that content. And there's a reason that people buy the NFL ticket, and there's a reason people buy NBA Game Pass, and there's a reason people don't buy MLB Game Pass. Because nobody wants to sit down and watch full baseball games. Even I, who've been obsessed with baseball since I was 3 years old, I very rarely, unless it's the playoffs, the World Series, I very rarely will sit down and watch an entire baseball game from start to finish without doing something else with the majority of my time during that. Baseball is it's background noise for the most part. You sit down, you're hanging out with family, you watch a game while you're talking with family, doing some work, things like that. Even I, who's obsessed with the game, very rarely, unless it's a Saturday afternoon, I really have nothing to do. Once in a while, I'll sit down and watch a full game with my dad when it's just my dad and I in the house. But for the most part, that's not something that's done. So Major League Baseball, trying to get people to pay for that content, it's not going to work. And they've kind of realized that right now. I think because of the quarantine and the pandemic and everything, I think they have 2 years of all of the baseball games from the last 2 years, 2019 and 2018. I think all of those games are up online somewhere, but I've not gone and watched any of those. I've gone and watched old basketball and football games, but even I haven't gone and watched any of those old baseball games. So if Major League Baseball really wants to engage the younger audience, they need to make their content more widespread available. That means more national TV, more national broadcast games for every team, not just the Yankees and the Red Sox. That means content creators on YouTube, any platform, YouTube, Twitch, even TikTok, something like that. They need to make their content more available. Then the last thing is, when was the last time you saw something on social media about a celebrity at a baseball game? I don't know. The only time I see something having to do with a baseball related person in a sporting event is when someone like Mike Trout goes to an Eagles game. That's the only reason I know anything about Mike Trout, is because the Philadelphia Eagles tell me about it. The Angels haven't told me a thing about Mike Trout. People love stories. We love LeBron James because he's not only a fantastic basketball player, but he's a fantastic father. He's a fantastic husband. He's a fantastic businessman. He's built his own school for low-income kids to go to, and they get food and technology and backpacks and clothes, and they can go to college for free because of LeBron James. That's LeBron James as a person, not just a player, is the reason we love him so much. So when we don't know that about Major League Baseball's best player, I couldn't tell you a thing about Mike Trout. I know he grew up in the East Coast area, somewhere around Philadelphia, but I don't know where he grew up. I don't know anything about him. So Major League Baseball needs to tell more stories. That's one of the reasons that Major League Baseball was so popular in like the days of Babe Ruth, when it really was America's pastime, because of the boisterous and outgoing personality of the guys like Babe Ruth and the stars that we knew and loved back in the day. That's part of why baseball was so popular, because those stars were well known. They were very good with people, things like that. Because of the way social media has now dominated the sports space, Major League Baseball has just fallen behind everyone. I mean, the NBA is at the top in terms of social media. I'm not talking about in terms of popularity. It'll be hard for anyone to top the NFL. But the NBA is at the top, NFL is very close behind, and Major League Baseball is down here. It's not even close. They do a very poor job when it comes to that. And I don't mean to be negative this entire video, but I bring this up because I've heard it a lot, that Major League Baseball just on social media doesn't get the same recognition. And even in terms of content creators who try to focus solely on baseball, it's really hard to do. And if I could do it, to be honest, if I had to pick one sport to do a podcast or a YouTube channel about, it would probably be baseball. That's been my love since I was born. As long as I can remember, baseball has been my love. But if I wanted to only focus on that, it would just not be a wise business decision, basically. So that's why I've chosen to focus on kind of all sports, be all-encompassing, and do as much baseball as I can. That's why I have these baseball videos and articles coming out all day on Friday. Friday is like my baseball day for MJ Hurley Sports. So those are kind of my general thoughts. I really wish Major League Baseball allowed people to do more with their games online. I wish MLB The Show was on Xbox. That's another thing where the rights of Major League Baseball are just extremely limited. You're taking out an entire group of people who could learn the game through that through MLB The Show on Xbox. That's how I learned basketball, was playing 2K for the most part. I mean, I kept up with the Warriors because of the Oakland connection with the Oakland A's. I kept up with the Warriors when I was little, but it was really with the early NBA 2K games and like 2K12 and beyond. That's really when I started learning about the game and getting more attached to basketball. And so if they really want to draw younger generations in, that's another way they could do it. So these kind of been my thoughts on Major League Baseball. Hopefully you guys either agree or disagree. I really don't care, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I would love to have that conversation with you guys, so go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you think Major League Baseball does have a marketing problem. Let me know if you think they don't have a marketing problem. Either way, feel free to like and subscribe. I'll be back at it again tomorrow with a NFL video. It'll be fantastic. Can't wait. See you guys later.